As much as I love Larry Graham, and he is one of my all-time favorite bassists, he did not invent slap bass. This is for all the youngins out there. Before y'all get in your feelings and want to cuss me out, just hear me out first. The slap bass technique has a rich history that blends innovation, cultural shifts, and a desire to push the boundaries of bass playing. What's up everybody, Kedar, aka KD Smooth here, and today we're just gonna dive in a little bit and talk a little bit about the origin of slap bass. The slap bass technique's origins can be traced back to the early 20th centuries with upright bass players in jazz, blues, and swing bands. Before the invention of the electric amplification, acoustic bass players often found themselves competing with louder instruments like horns and drums in live settings. To stand out, they began to slap the strings of the double bass against the fingerboard, creating a loud, percussive click to emphasize the beat. This was particularly prominent in the 1920s and 30s when bands lacked drummers, especially in early jazz and blues settings. Slap bass allowed bass players to provide rhythm and drive, simulating the sound of a drum while also playing the bass line. In a way, this was the earliest precursor to the modern electric slap bass technique, used the instrument both melodically and rhythmically. Notable early adapters of this technique were Willie Dixon in blues and Milt Hinton in jazz, both known for using slap techniques to provide rhythmic foundation and flair.
When I first started listening to basses, I was listening to them play like this. I had to find a way to do better. And I said, well, if I mix that up like you're dancing, like I'm going through a little dance, you know.
In the early 1950s, Leo Fender's invention of the electric bass guitar with the Fender Precision Bass, also known as the P-Bass, was a game changer. Musicians no longer needed to haul around bulky double basses or struggle to be heard in a band. The electric bass amplified the role of the bass player, giving them the power to innovate in new ways. However, at first, bass players continued to play the instruments much like a double bass, plucking the strings with their fingers, known as fingerstyle, pretty much the way we still do now, of course. It wasn't until the late 1960s that the slap technique found a new form in the hands of an innovator. Now let's get to the best part of the video. The true breakthrough for slap bass came with Larry Graham, who is widely considered the father of modern slap bass technique. In the late 1960s, while playing with the band Sly and the Family Stone, Graham found himself in a unique situation. His family band didn't have a drummer, so to compensate, he began slapping the strings with his thumb for a deep, punchy sound and popping the strings with his fingers to create a sharp, percussive, snapping sound. Graham's innovation allowed him to essentially play drums on the bass, creating a rhythm and groove that was both melodic and percussive. cornerstone of the band's funky sound, and it laid the foundation for the slap bass technique as we know of it today. In Graham's own words, I started playing electric bass like a drummer, using my thumb to simulate the kick drum and my fingers to replicate the snare. It changed how people thought about the role of the bass guitar. In the 1970s, slap bass became synonymous with funk, a genre built around groove, rhythm, and danceable beats. Funk bass lines are known for their syncopated rhythms, and slap bass added a powerful, energetic punch that was perfect for the style. Larry Graham wasn't the only one pushing the boundaries. Bassists like Bootsy Collins, who played with James Brown, and later Parliament Funkadelic, added his own style to the slap bass, focusing on flashy, highly rhythmic bass lines. Bootsy became a funk icon, and his use of slap bass helped cement a fundamental technique in the genre. Louis Johnson of the Brothers Johnson was another key figure in popularizing slap bass. His technique, which combined slapping with fast pops, became a staple of 70s funk and soul music. In fact, Louis Johnson was called Thunder Thumbs for his aggressive and fast slap playing. He was the bassist on Michael Jackson's Thriller and Off the Wall albums, including hits like Billie Jean, which further popularized slap bass in pop. In the 1970s, in the jazz fusion world, Stanley Clarke was also pushing the boundaries of slap bass during this time. His approach was more of a melodic and virtuosic, showcasing the technique wasn't just about rhythm, but it can also be a tool for soloing and expression. By the time the 1980s came, slap bass had spread beyond funk and fusion and was becoming more popular in a variety of genres, including rock, pop, and even metal. Bassists like Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers brought slap bass into that alternative rock world with energetic and raw slapping that became a defining part of the band's sound. Tracks like Higher Ground and Give It Away highlight Flea's aggressive slap technique, fusion punk, funk, and rock together. Les Claypool of Primus took slap bass to an even stranger and more experimental place, blending humor, virtuosity, and slap-driven grooves into the alternative and metal scene of the 1990s. His hyper-speed slap techniques and quirky playing style became one of the defining elements of Primus sound. Now, in the modern era, slap bass remains a key technique for many of today's top bassists. Musicians like Victor Wooten, Marcus Miller, and Thundercat has taken the technique to new levels, blending it with jazz, electronic music, and even classical influences. Victor Wooten is known for his mind-blowing technical mastery using slap, double thumbing, and tapping to create intricate and virtuosic bass lines. favorite, Marcus Miller, carries the torch of the funk slap tradition while also bringing in jazz and pop elements with his signature slap sound that is both melodic and rhythmic. Now, Thundercat uses slap in more progressive jazz-influenced setting, blending it with neo-soul and electronic music for a fresh, modern take on the technique. Slap bass involves using both the thumb and the fingers to create contrasting, percussive, and melodic sounds. Here's a breakdown of the two primary movements. The player strikes the string with the fleshy part of their thumb, usually near the neck of the bass. This produces a deep, punchy sound. The player uses their index or middle finger to pull the string and release it, creating a sharp snap as the string hits the fretboard. Additionally, many slap bass players incorporate techniques like hammer-ons, pull-offs, and ghost notes to create complex rhythmic patterns. Even though slap bass is mostly closely associated with funk, its influence has spread across genres. Pop music like Michael Jackson's hits and Madonna's Like a Prayer features prominent slap bass. Rock and alternative bands like Red Hot Chili Peppers and Primus popularized slap and rock settings. Now for metal, some metal bassists use slap to add aggression and rhythmic complexity. And when it comes to like electronic artists like Daft Punk and Thundercat, they blend slap bass with electronic beats for a futuristic groove-oriented sound. The slap bass technique has endured for decades, constantly evolving and adapting to new styles and genres, from its roots in jazz and blues to its explosion in funk and modern-day experimental music. Slap bass remains a powerful tool for bassists to express themselves rhythmically and melodically. It's more than just a technique, but it's a form of musical expression that has shaped the sound of modern music. Alright everybody, that's it for this video. Please like, comment, subscribe. Also follow me on my social media at 112KDZ_ on Instagram and TikTok. The name's KD Smooth. And also comment down below who's your favorite slap bassist or who's your favorite bassist in general. And also, I'm curious to know if Larry Graham wasn't, the founder of electric slap bass or like the father of slap bass, who do you think would be the person to discover it? Or comment down below if you think we would have had it at all. Me personally, I think if Larry Graham didn't discover it, I probably think it would have been Victor Rubin to be the person to, make it, electric slap as we know as today. But comment down your thoughts, your opinions. I would love to engage with y'all. And also, please be good to each other, because the Lord knows y'all have been good to me. And if you didn't know me before, you should know me by now. God bless and peace.